Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful Chilli Bowl here with the Speedway Alliance Racing League. As tonight is going to be an action-packed race. You can see how tight and small this racetrack is with those factory stocks out there on the racetrack. And as they get running, elbows up, door to door out there on the speedway could create a lot of calamity, could create a lot of intense racing action that we're going to catch every last second of out there on the speedway. As the practice session has come to a close, drivers are going to get their opportunity here to try to lay down a couple quick lap times and hope that they can find the quickest laps and try to put themselves directly into the show. So the top two drivers in qualifying here this evening will automatically advance into our A main feature event. Everybody else will go to our heat races here this evening, and then followed by a consolation race before the A main feature event. So try to lock your way in. It's not going to be super easy. It's going to be fairly tough for a lot of these drivers to try to make sure that they put themselves into the best position possible. And you already see the 14 ride. Looks like he's going to get a full reset. Or actually, it's the 147 ride of Steve Bott. And then you see the X machine out there. That's Robert Chartet. I'm probably getting that completely wrong. Robert, though, in the X ride, he's out there on the racetrack. He's looking to lay down some good lap times. Josh Kosek out there as well. Kosek in that beautiful number 3 machine, looking fresh out there. This thing's got a lot going on. I see Perry the Platypus. I see Mike Wazowski. I see a couple reindeers getting a little frisky. What else we got on here? Great value and a bunch of meme photos as well. Okay, so that's going to be interesting to see that car out there. But for right now, he's hoping to try to get the quick time on the racetrack. Unfortunately, does not get it. We do see Jacob Hefner does get the quick time with Nate Friesen currently in second. So a few more of these drivers are going to get some opportunities to try to jump up there, beat that lap time, and try to put themselves into a good position to start this race. And obviously trying to lock their way in here this evening. We do see Jordan Brinkley out there in the 12 ride. You take a look back at Sebastian Rios Davis in the 20. He's open for a quick time here himself. Noah Allison's out there in the 24. Corey Sibley, he jumps up into 7th here in the 999 ride. Magnum Tate's just in front of him here as we do see Josh Kosek still rolling out there, went for a little bit of a cruise down through the, the pit lane there, and now we do see a new quick time for the 20 ride. Sebastian Rios Davis with the quick time here in qualifying, jumps to the top of the speed chart, so the 20's found something. He's got that car absolutely hooked up here this evening. The Cherry Symptography ride. Definitely, it's definitely hot off the grill and hot out there on the racetrack. Justin Brown jumps up into position number 2 here. So those are the top 2 spots that you want to be in, as we do see the number 216 now rolling and strolling out there on the racetrack, getting a little bit of that left front hung up in the air there. Unfortunately, kind of slid him a little sideways. See if he can find any extra speed, though. Looking for an extra run. Unfortunately, does hit that berm again and will not qualify at the front of the field here. Is Jordan Brinkley. He jumps up into position number 4. Unfortunately, still just not quite good enough for a locked-in spot here to make the A main feature event through qualifying so far. Actually, no, looks like Brinkley, second lap, able to get it, and Brinkley now has the quick time here in qualifying. We counted him out, but he made it count, and Brinkley jumps up and steals that pole position. Sebastian Rios Davis currently sits in second, so he's still feeling A-okay, but he knows that if someone else jumps up there, beats his lap time, or takes that top spot away, could knock him out of a automatic transfer through to our A main feature event, as we have at least 19 drivers loaded in, 19 drivers wanting to race in this A main feature event here this evening. Unfortunately, we're going to be taking, I do believe, only 14 drivers into the A main, so there's going to be 5 or 6 drivers that are going to be unfortunately loading up their rides and joining the fans in the stands here this evening. For our top 2 here in qualifying, it's qualifying looks to be officially over. Looks like everyone's gotten their lap times in, and it has finished. So Qualifying is over. Jordan Brinkley, Sebastian Rios Davis have locked their way into the A-Main feature event. Now everybody else is going to have to battle here through our heat races. So, looks like we're going to get 6 cars here in each heat race. Should probably have 3 heat races here this evening, which means we're going to have a lot of competition, a lot of beating and banging here, and all these drivers, they know that they need to be inside the top 2. Top 2 from each heat race will lock their way in to the A-Main feature event here this evening. Everybody else will go to our consolation race after these heat races. So you do not want to be in that consi. You do not want to put yourself at risk of potentially not making it in to the A-Main feature event here this evening. So locking your way in, right now in this heat race is got to be a must. And for Justin Brown, he's going to start in the pole position. To his outside is that 226 of Carson Cherry. Starting back in third, it is the number 5 of Magnum Steel. To his outside in the 79 ride, that is Gary Steele. Starting in position number 5, the 14th C is Anthony Cordray. Cordray will start there in 5th, and to his outside, the 24, is Noah Allison. So 6 drivers to transfer through to the A-Main feature event, and here we go. Already there, making some moves. We saw Tate up and onto the berm. Luckily enough, able to keep that thing rolling, keeping it pointing in the right direction as he sits in third. But right now, he finds that Justin Brooks Designs, number 5 ride, unfortunately on the outside of a transfer spot, looking in as you take a look out in front. Justin Brown trying to hold on to the top spot. Carson Cherry's trying to take it away from him. As Cherry and the 2 Fat Guys Sim Racing Promotions, Cherry Motorsports, Cobra Ride, and right there, beating and banging. A little tail tag gets loose down and out of corner number 4. That may open up the door for Tate now to get to his inside. And here we go. The 5 ride is there. He's showing him the nose. One simple mistake, one slip up by the 5 ride could take the 226 around and put him back of the field here. So for Carson Cherry, gotta be really, really careful when that car gets down to your inside, especially on corner entry. But luckily enough, he's able to get a good run and keep Magnum Tate back there at bay. As out in front, though, Justin Brown continues to lead this race. Brown out in front, he's looking A-OK, and for the 7-Eleven machine, he's feeling pretty solid right now as he had a quick car in practice, quick car there in qualifying. Unfortunately, it's not quick enough for the top 2 spots, but here in heat race number 1, he's able to lead all 7 laps, and now looking to lead this final lap is down into 3, nice and easy. Out of corner number 4, it's Justin Brown who will pick up the first heat race win. Carson Cherry will come home in second. Magnum Tate back in third. Gary Steele, Noah Allison, and Anthony Cordray, unfortunately, will go to our consolation races. Top 2 advance. Everyone else will go to the consi here this evening, and we're going to get ready for heat race number 2. Heat race number 2 going to get lined up out there on the racetrack, and this is going to be another good one. As Ram says, this should be good. This should definitely be good, man. Anytime you go to the Chilli Bowl, man, especially, in one of these full-fendered cars, man, it's just so exciting. Even when you're in, the sprint cars or the midgets, man, it is so much fun, man. The Chilli Bowl, the Tulsa shootout, they're all just such a blast, so much fun to watch and see these guys, battle and duke it out, year after year after year. As we'll get them ready here for heat race number 2 this afternoon. And starting on the pole, it is the 5 of Jacob Hefner. Hefner will start in the pole position. To his outside will be the X Machine of Robert Charty. Charty, hopefully I'm getting that right. I'm probably getting it completely wrong. Charette. Maybe is how he pronounces it. Aaron Witham there in third. James Williams back in fourth. R.J. Murphy and Thomas Thies brings up the rear of the field in the Hawkeye Trucking number 15 ride. And 6 more drivers, 2 more transfer spots into the show. And here we go. Quickly, the 5 of Hefner able to get a great launch. Great start right here. Able to put that power down, give himself a little bit of a breathing room as Aaron Witham jumps up in front of that number number X machine, and unfortunately for the Backstretch Productions, number X slides back into that third position. That is not a fun spot to be, as that is the first spot on the outside of a transfer looking in. As he sits back in position number 3, we'll have to wait and see if he can find a little something here and try to see if he can work his way back around the 216 of Aaron Witham. James Williams back there in 4th, Thomas Thies in position number 5, and R.J. Murphy at the rear of the field in that 6th position. Murphy's going to have to figure something out here. He's going to have to try to make some quick moves, as of right now, he's going to be starting deep in our consi, and that is not a good spot to be, as our consolation race will only transfer, I do believe, 2 drivers through as well, so it could be a really short field. We'll have to wait and see exactly what the number is and see how many drivers transfer in through our consi here this evening. But for Jacob Hefner, he is feeling A-OK out there on the racetrack as the 5 ride out in front. You'll see the white flag fly, and here we go. 1 lap left for the 5 machine, as he's got a good gap between himself and the 216 ride for Robert Charty. Only has one more opportunity and unfortunately can't quite get back to that 216, as Jacob Hefner and Aaron Witham will park themselves into our A main feature event. The other 4, unfortunately, will go to our consolation races here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble, as heat race number 3 is about to get underway. Heat race number 3 is about to get fired off, and this is going to be another good one, another fun one. Going to be exciting to see kind of how this one plays out and see who's going to be able to put themselves into a good position. As Loud Pedal says, is there a setting you need to change to get rid of the white smoke on these? The white smoke. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what setting that would be to get rid of any type of white smoke or anything else. I'm not 100% sure. Are you saying mine has white smoke on it, or yours gets white smoke on it? That's the big question. Mine seems pretty clear. I don't know if yours does. Tire smoke. To get rid of tire smoke. That I'm not sure of. I don't know what setting that would be. I'm not sure what setting that would be. I just use the preset settings. I just go right to the top settings, and that's what I go with. I don't know if that would be like the DSR setting potentially. I know there's a couple other ones that you have to click on or click off, and that may be the difference maker. As Nate Friesen, though, beating and banging here with the 3 machine, it's Josh Kosick. They're at the front of the field. They are still leaning on each other. They're not backing down, and here comes Stephen Bott and Corey Sibley right into the battle as the 3 rides around. Around goes the 3, and unfortunately for Steve Bott, nowhere for him to go, as Josh Kosick and Bott get tied together. Corey Sibley, unfortunately, had to get onto the binders there, but for Holden Anderson, he was able to jump out in front. The caution flag has been displayed, so let's get a look back and see what happened here, because, man, these guys were absolutely beating and banging right from the drop of the green flag. They were not leaning on each other here. And finally, it kind of comes back and bites them right there, as the 3 kind of pulled ahead just ever so slightly. And unfortunately, as they were kind of leaning on each other, and 18 kind of comes back up. The 3 kind of comes down. They get hooked together, unfortunately, into that left rear quarter panel of that 3 machine, and he's finally going to go around, and nowhere to go here for the 147, nowhere to go for Corey Sibley, as they end up right in there into the mix of it and right into some of the heavy contact and damage out there on the racetrack. We do see Kosick is down pit side trying to get his car repaired, trying to get back out into the race. And for Holden Anderson, that was a great break for him. He was able to put the throttle down on the inside and work his way right to the point. And now we'll keep our race leading. Gets a great start right there. Great restart. Great jump for the 13 ride. And he's hoping to try to keep Corey Sibley and the rest of these guys back there at bay. We did see Nate Friesen did have to go to the back of the pack there for that contact, and unfortunately for that F-18, you know, he's back behind these guys now and unfortunately losing time, and there's already the white flag out. Here comes the checkered flag, and it's Holden Anderson who will pick up the heat race win. So our third heat race win will go to Holden Anderson. Corey Sibley will also punch his ticket into our A main feature event here this evening. The other three will join us for this consolation races. Let's take a look here and see exactly how many. Looks like we're taking the top 6 from this consi. So top 6 from the consolation race will advance. We get 10 laps here to try to settle things out. Now I feel we're probably going to see a couple of caution flags here this evening, as it could definitely get pretty fun. As Chunky's Racing says, are those actually factories? They are factories. They're asphalt street stocks is what they are. That's exactly what they are. Bash has got them there. Go Team Purpose Racing says number 20 and 226. Cheering on Carson Cherry out there, man. That never a bad bet cheering on Cherry there on the Speedway. Yeah, these are the factory stocks or asphalt street stocks is what these are. If you were to use a dirt car, you can only use the Camaro. You don't get the, you know, metric body styles or anything else. So these guys have kind of converted these asphalt cars into, you know, dirt setups, and they work pretty dang good. Is this league invite only? I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't tell you. I believe they're usually on Facebook group chats looking for people, and I'm sure that more people could join and get in on the fun. Let me see if I can snag the Discord here. Probably be able to find more information from that as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to rumble here this evening. As here we go, the 5 of Holden Anderson out in front. Actually, that's not Holden Anderson. Sorry, that is Magnum Tate out in front with Robert Chartette there in position number 2. Gary Steele, Steven Bott there in 4th. Nate Friesen and Noah Allison round out our top 6, and this is where the big position's going to be, but there is the contact. Look out! Upside down goes the 24. Oh no, tough break here for Noah Allison as he ends up on his lid. And this thing is not probably going to just roll over easily. He may need a helping hand, or he may have to tow this thing back down pit side as the caution flag flies here in this one. We did see, there we go, there's a little helping hand. We did see James Williams also run into some problems here. 34 right there, gets turned around, and unfortunately pointed the wrong direction. Looks like he's just going to tow it right off the racetrack, as early on. The car to watch is this 3 machine, because man, this 3 ride has been absolutely a bit of a pinball out there, man. He's been a bit of a bowling ball, and everyone else has been pinballs. He's made quite a bit of contact, and right here at the get-go, obviously not too much of his own fault there. 24 and him kind of get tied together, and then back down into the next corner. Just kind of everyone's bouncing off each other. They continue to beat and bang and bounce, and there's these and the 3 ride, and then he gets into deep. It's the 24, and that's where we see Noah Allison go upside down. That's the classic kind of racing that we see here at the Chilli Bowl, and we may see a little bit more of that here before we're done, as drivers know that only the top 6 will get an opportunity to race in the A-Main feature event, so they're going to be looking to try to make their moves and put themselves up there as quickly as possible, as the 3 ride, Kotzik, has worked his way up inside of the top 6. Oh, look out, he's going to flip it. There he goes upside down. Oh my gosh, he's able to keep on rolling. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green, but they're still stacked up. They're still piled up as RJ Murphy. Look like a few of these other drivers get tied together, but I do believe we're going to see a couple of these guys just trying to keep themselves out of trouble here. Here comes our race leaders around the 24, Ryan Noah Allison, as he was able to get that thing rolling again out there on the racetrack. But, man, Josh Kosek, oh, man, Bounces off of RJ Murphy right there. This thing has been bouncing around. There goes the 24. Unfortunately, though, the checkered flag will be displayed. And for some, it's a little too late, a little less than what they needed, some a little more than what they needed. But for Magnum Tate, he picks up the checkered flag. Robert there in second, Gary Steele in third, Stephen Bott, Nate Friesen, and Thomas Thies will pick up the sixth and final transfer spot here this evening, and working his way into the show. Unfortunately, some of these guys, they had to go. So let's take a look here at our official finishing order and see exactly where these guys kind of finished up there in that consolation race. Top six advanced. Everyone else, unfortunately, has to load up their ride, enjoying the fans in the stands. So Magnum Tate, Robert Chartent, and Gary Steele, Stephen Bott, Nate Friesen, and Thomas Thies are A-OK. They will race in our A main here this evening. Unfortunately, Anthony Cordray, RJ Murphy, Josh Cosick Jr., or JK, not sure what that is, and Noah Allison and James Williams will all load up their rides, enjoying the fans in the stands here this evening. So unfortunately, 5 drivers eliminated and 5 drivers no longer going to be a part of the show here this evening. Heartbreaker there for them, but man, this is just going to make things that much more fun, that much more interesting for this A main here this evening, as drivers are going to get a good opportunity to slide out onto the racetrack, a quick warm-up session to work on their race cars, make sure that they are A-OK and that they are pointing in the right direction, got their setups figured out, and that they are ready to roll here in this feature event, as we'll get ready to show off these cars and go to battle one more race here this afternoon from the Chilli Bowl in just a few more moments. Or there a Discord link, thanks. Yeah, I was trying to find the Discord link and it's private, so I can't send anyone an invite, unfortunately, to their Discord. Yeah, it doesn't show me. Yeah, it's a hidden Discord link, so I can't send I can't send an invite, unfortunately. Let me see. If you look up Speedway Alliance Racing League on Facebook, I'm pretty positive that they do have a Facebook channel, or if one of the admins can send the Discord link into the chat right now, that would work out perfectly for us. But right now, I don't have access to send it, unfortunately. But yeah, if you look on any of the Dirt Talk racing sites on Facebook and stuff, you should be able to find it there. Dang, the one of Facebook is expired. No big deal. I'm sure they'll post again. Or if you comment on it, I'm sure they'll do it. Are we racing more? I will be doing another race. I have another race later on this afternoon, but I don't put these on. These aren't my thing. I'm just the announcer and broadcaster here, and I just get paid for the one race. I do believe they do race twice in the night, so they do race following this, but it won't be broadcasted here, unfortunately, and I don't think they have a broadcast for it, so it's just this race for these guys. And then I'm into the dirt late models with a different league, a different series after this, so that'll be fun as well. Make sure you guys tune into that. Going to be another great show, another great race there as well, and a lot more amazing action here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to roll here. Our warm-up session has come to a close, and that means it is time to go, as our A main feature event is about to get underway. It's going to be a quick one here, unless we see a lot of caution flags. It's 25 laps. Chucky says, all race. Unfortunately, it's not an open league, brother. It's not an open league, unfortunately. You can race with these guys. I mean, you just have to jump on Facebook, shoot them a message to their Facebook page there at the Speedway Alliance Racing League, and they might be able to get you in there in time. I'm not sure how they're running things, or if they have locked it already, or if it's open. That's not my decision. That's not my area of expertise here with the series. So you'd have to get a hold of the admins there for that one, as we'll get them ready to rock and roll here for our A main feature event. You guys came for a show? Well, here you go. It's starting on the pole in the number 12 ride. It is Jordan Brinkley who will lead us to the green flag. To his outside in the 20 will be that beautiful looking machine of Sebastian Rios Davis. Starting in position number 3 in the 21, that is Justin Brown, who will start there in third. To his outside in position number 4 will be the 5 of Jacob Hefner. Starting in the 5th position in the 13 machine, the Hawkeye trucking ride, that is Holden Anderson. To his outside in the 226, that is Carson Cherry. Starting back in position number 7 in the 216, that is Aaron Witham, who will start there in 7th. To his outside, the 999 is Corey Sibley. Starting in position number 9 is the 5 of Magnum Tate. Robert Chartette will be there to his outside, running at our top 10. Stephen Bott, Gary Steele, Thomas Fees, and Nate Friesen bringing up the rear of the field as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from the Chilli Bowl. And out in front, the 20 rider Sebastian Rios Davis looking to run away with it as it is a dogfight back here behind him. 2, 3, wide, elbows up, bumper to bumper action, and these guys are putting together a great show for us, man. This is a lot of fun watching these metric cars beat and bang and battle back here towards the rear of the field. It looks like they are definitely at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Maybe the shorter wheelbase, the Camaros and Panthers here, they're rolling, they're making out a little bit better here towards the front of the field as our top 6 all not metric chassis, actually our top 7 all not metric race cars out there. The Monte Carlos unfortunately seem to be a little bit behind the 8 balls. The 5 ride of Magnum Tate, the first one in a line of a bunch of them here, is Tate with them. Corey Sibley, Robert C., Stephen Bott, Nate Friesen, Gary Steele, and that number 15 of Thomas Thies, unfortunately now going to go a lap down here to our race leader. Thies unfortunately already finding out that maybe these metric rides not so good when it comes to the Chilli Bowl, and unfortunately seems like they're definitely, I don't know if it's setup basis that they're having issues or if it's just the way that these cars drive, but they definitely have not been able to run that inside lane as nicely as we've seen the Camaros run so far here this evening. Is out in front, Sebastian Rios Davis jumped out to the point here, got around Brinkley right off that start of the race, and since that point has not looked back, and Brinkley just really hasn't had much for him. He hasn't let him run away with it, but unfortunately is quickly running out of time. Has to try to figure out a way to catch up to that 20 ride, not only get to his back bumper, but has to try to figure out a way to get around Sebastian here this evening. As Jordan Brinkley back in second, we do see Jacob Hefner there in third. Justin Brown back in fourth with Carson Cherry rounding out our top 5 is the 226. The Cherry Syntography ride rolls there in that 5th position. Magnum Tate, though, he's going after this number 13 rider, Holden Anderson. Holden's kind of running a little bit more of that outside lane. The 5 ride's got that inside roll, and he's hoping that he can complete this pass and work his way up and into that 6th position, and it looks like he will. And here comes Aaron Witham trying to follow him through. Same with Corey Sibley as the 13 ride continues to slide backwards here on the racetrack. And now here we go. Oh, look out. Let's play this one back. I'm not sure if there was contact. Definitely looked like it. Brinkley finally got a good run, got to the inside of the 20, hits the berm, bounces door to door with the 20 ride, shoves Sebastian Rios Davis up and into the outside fence, and unfortunately some pretty solid left front damage here for the 20 ride. You can see that left front wheel kind of wiggling and wobbling a little bit right there. Obviously something is broken in the front end of this 20 ride, and that is going to really hurt his odds today. And now there's more contact. Hefner wants around him. Hefner wants second. He wants an opportunity to jump up here and go after Brinkley for the race lead. As Rio still just trying to hang on to this thing as Carson Cherry makes the move, gets around Justin Brown. Cherry now going to look to make his move around the 20, but oh man, some smoke coming out of both these cars. It looks like potentially motor issues now for both Carson Cherry and Sebastian Rios Davis. Oh no, this is worst case scenario for the Purpose Racing team here this evening, as it looks like maybe they're set up a little bit too aggressive, and they now find themselves starting to run into some engine issues, and now we see a couple more making their way down pit side. The 216 of Aaron Witham's down there. Jerry's down pit side. Here comes Robert Thies, Thomas Thies, Robert Chartet also down pit road. Sebastian Rios Davis still down there. Looks like Cherry was able to get this thing somewhat repaired. He's got a bandage back together and will rejoin the field. Unfortunately, loses a top 5 run and will fall back into 11th. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. Will that play a factor late in this race? Will we see more drivers run into engine issues here this evening? Will Jordan Brinkley, Jacob Hefner, Justin Brown, will they be okay? Will they be able to hang on to it, or will maybe potentially the engines withstand here for some of those Camaro or Monte Carlos back behind them? They may be sitting in the catbird seat. Magnum Tate, Corey Sibley, they may be feeling pretty good about their chances here. Big restart coming up. They're going to be right there on their back bumper, and potentially some late race issues for these guys could put them into a good position. As here we go, back to battle. 21 laps complete, 4 laps left to go. Brinkley out in front will look to try to keep these guys back there at bay for 3 more laps of racing action here from the Chilli Bowl. As we see Jordan Brinkley out in front. Hefner rolls there in that second spot on the speedway. Justin Brown in position number 3 with Magnum Tate and Corey Sibley are top 5. But it's Jordan Brinkley out in front. He made that one move, the one mistake. It gave him the race lead. He does not want to give it up as the white flag is displayed. One more try, one more opportunity for Hefner to try to get around him. They'll drag race back to the line, but it's too late as Jordan Brinkley will pick up the checkered flag and celebrate here at the Chilli Bowl. Brinkley gets it done and picks up the dub here this evening in what was a very exciting, heart-pounding race this afternoon. Our top 3 will get lined up here on the front straightaway, and we will get ready to bring them into the booth for some post-race interviews. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see some congratulations in the chat right now for Jordan Brinkley, our race winner, our second place driver Jacob Hefner, and our third place driver Justin Brown. It's a great run, great race, and a heck of a performance here this evening by all 3 drivers, man. All these guys put together an absolutely amazing race. Some great action out there on the speedway, and we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the booth here this evening. Now, I do see Justin Brown is in there. There's Jordan Brinkley. Okay, we got our race winner in here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the 12 of Mr. Brinkley as we get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Jordan, man, what a run, what a race for you here this evening as you're able to beat and bang and battle there late in this race to get around that 20 ride of Sebastian Rios Davis. And luckily enough for you, after you made that pass, he could never get back to you. Obviously had a little bit of damage, but then had some engine issues. That's what brought out that caution flag. And luckily for yourself, a great restart. You're able to keep Hefner off your back bumper, and you're able to just kind of keep that car length or 2 gap there in these closing laps to hold him and the rest of the field off and park yourself up here into victory lane, man. Jordan, take us back through what's going through your mind after an amazing race here this evening.
Yeah, man, sorry to Sebastian. I know he's upset, but it's such a tight racetrack and cars that, you have to set them right for them to turn. And I feel like I got under him 2 or 3 times and had to back out to keep from making contact. And then that time, I was like, all right, man, I'm going to be down here. So if you come down here, then we're going to make contact. So I think that's what happened. I haven't seen the replay yet, but, just hate to win it that way, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely tough contact there, but going for what could have been the pass for the win. You're trying your best to stay underneath of them and try to work them up the track a little bit right there. Seemed like you just got into that berm ever too slightly more than what you have been, and it just unsettled that car, kind of launched it into the air. Unfortunately, when you're kind of flying through the sky, you're getting no traction. You kind of fly up and wash up the racetrack into the side of that 20 machine. Tough break there for him, but man, it worked out nicely for yourself as you're able to celebrate here and pick up a big dub here at the Chilli Bowl this afternoon in the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Jordan, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance parking this 12 ride up in Victory Lane?
Yeah, I just gotta thank my teammate, Jacob Hefner. Me and him bounced a lot of setup stuff off each other, and in between this and the late model stuff last night. So we were pretty good in the late model last night. The street stock, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really seem like anyone has a killer advantage. It's more about like driver. So
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely fun. They're definitely interesting. And at a small racetrack like this, it is definitely a wild card race. And luckily enough for yourself, you get the quick time there in qualifying. It sets you up here for a nice start this evening. It seemed like passing was at a premium back there deeper in the field. Anyways, Jordan, a great run, great drive here this evening as you park that 12 ride up here in Victory Lane. Brother, enjoy the dub, and we can't wait to see you guys back out on the racetrack next Sunday night and hopefully see this 12 ride maybe right back up and into Victory Lane.
yes, sir. You should see us close to the front at least.
Beauty, we look forward to it, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jordan Brinkley. Coming home in second, though, was that 5 ride of Jacob Hefner. Hefner comes home in position number 2. Let's get this number 5 machine up and into the booth right now. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Jacob, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening as obviously, a pretty solid heat race. You were able to kind of just run away with that one. Then come feature time, obviously passing's at a premium. You can't make a mistake, and out of the get-go, you jump up into that 3rd spot. You're able to kind of roll there for a little while, and then Brinkley and Sebastian Rios Davis start battling there. They make some contact that opens up the door for you to get around the 20 as he gets some damage. As you make that pass around him, he has engine problems, and now you get a late race restart to try to go after that 12 of Brinkley. Unfortunately, though, throughout that 4-lap shootout, you just could not quite get the run that you were looking for. He had no mistakes, and unfortunately just could not close the little bit of a gap that he was able to build on that restart to try to steal this win away from him. But a solid 2nd place run here this evening, man. Take us back through it, and how you feel after a great run and a great race here this afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have won, but the field's so tight. It's pretty neat that this is an open setup, and we're all able to hit it. I guess so close that it's a really tight field. I think in practice and in qualifying, we were only separated by just a couple tenths. So that's pretty big, especially on the dirt side of things. I'm an asphalt guy, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. This is the second week I finished second. Felt like I probably should have won last week, but I kind of gave that one away. But yeah, tonight just tried to settle in there. I mean, the laps click off really fast around this place, and before I knew it, we're sitting there with about 5 or 10 to go, and I saw Jordan and Sebastian kind of racing really hard there, and I tried to take advantage of it. And then I think Sebastian had an engine failure or something after that, and it was just between me and Jordan there. I just didn't think I didn't really know how I could get by him without roughing him up. And I didn't want to settle for second, but at the same time, I'm trying to think a bigger picture with the points. 2 seconds in a row isn't always too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you never like to be a bridesmaid. You want to be a bride, but man, after a chaotic race like the Chilli Bowl, to come out of it on top with a fairly perfect race car, didn't really get into too much contact or, adversity here this afternoon. You gotta feel, pretty happy about that. Being able to keep all the fenders kind of pointed in the right direction here on that race car.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my second race in this the street stock class. I think like third or fourth race in this league, and I've had a blast so far, man. Everybody's just really close on speed. I think we're all fairly equal, so it makes it really tight, close, just tough battles. There's a little bit of frustration I've seen out there between a couple guys, but I think it's really just all good, hard-nosed racing. So yeah, I've had a blast. Looking forward to next week. Looking forward to later tonight at Cedar Lake in the pros as well.
Absolutely. Should be another good race. And obviously, we won't be there, but we'll see you guys back in action again next Sunday afternoon. But man, what a run. What a drive for you here this evening, Jacob. Who would you like to thank for a great performance again here tonight?
Yeah, just got to thank our whole Rapid Race Cars team, the Rapid Chassis crew, and want to give a big shout out to JHD Wraps and Pristine Screen Print and Embroidery for all their help and support. And yeah, we'll hopefully end up one spot better come next Sunday.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you back out there and hopefully see you right back up here in the booth. And as you said, maybe in victory lane and breaking through, getting a dub here in the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Man, we can't wait to see you back out there. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congrats again on the second place finish.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place driver, Jacob Hefner, as Hefner comes home in position number 2 here this evening. We'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the 21 of Justin Brown. Hey, Justin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Justin, man, solid run for you here this evening. 21 ride looked, pretty stout all afternoon. Not really making any big mistakes or sliding up or around there. Obviously, we saw you in some tight battles out there, battling there with Carson Cherry, trying to get into the battle with the 20 ride of Sebastian Rios Davis and Hefner there late in this race until we saw, obviously, Rios run into issues and having some problems there motor-wise. Cherry ends up having the same issue, and all of a sudden you get pick up a couple extra spots here late in this race, and you get another restart. Not only to try to go after Brinkley and Hefner for the race win, but you also had to try to play a little defense there and try to keep some of those Monte Carlos back there at bay.
Yeah, after the heat, I realized these things can race side by side. You just have to basically run a slider line if you're on the outside to cut off their momentum on the entry, and then they're not able to float all the way to the wall, and you're able to take away a little bit of their speed. But once they get going, it's kind of hard to get around somebody and be able to try to do that. So I tried it a few times, and really because my car was so tight, I had maybe 20 minutes to work on this setup just out of nowhere, and just I haven't raced these things hardly ever, so I just tried it. It worked out. It just was having a little bit trouble turning in the late race there, but I mean I'll take it. Like I said, normally don't really race these things. I'm gonna have to get a wrap made for these if I'm gonna keep running because I ain't have one right now. Just something off of Trading Paints. It was a good race. I got close to having them engine problems too because I think I kept getting engine heat warning for about 10 laps before the caution came out. Whenever they all had their issues, so I lucked out on that.
Yeah, definitely a lucky break right there. Must be a high RPM issue or something like that with you guys spinning them tires and slinging these things around this small Chilli Bowl racetrack, man. And obviously, if we would have ran another 5, 10, 15 laps, might have ran into more issues, more problems for drivers. But man, I'm glad that we were able to watch you guys really duke it out for some good green flag laps. It's hard to find a lot of leagues, especially in street stocks here at the Chilli Bowl, that can run 20 laps of virtually clean and green racing.
Yeah, no, the Chili Bowl is usually really hard to race and not have a bunch of cautions, wrecks, and everything going on during that. So I'm really surprised at how well this went. Um, no, I think the RPMs had to play in the heat, but also these things I've noticed in the times that I have ran them are very, very susceptible to if you hit somebody with your front end, it's like it just covers the radiator and then you just start heating up really easily and you don't have to hit them hard. I don't know if that's what happened here, that between that and the lack of speed to cool off, but Once we got under caution, I just did what I could to make sure my temperature went down to at least 30 degrees. And at that point, I knew I was good to go after that.
Yeah, absolutely. 4-lap shootout. You guys gave it everything you got here and put together a great race, an amazing show for us here this evening. Justin, you park it up on the podium here tonight in that third position. Who would you like to thank for a great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Big thanks to everybody at Warrior Racing. Big group of amazing guys that help out a lot with everything we do in the sim. I'm gonna have to get a hold of my team owner with Warrior Wraps to get me a wrap made. Which big shout out to him for everything he does for us. Shout out to Jordan and Jacob for first and second, and them for putting on this lead and you streaming it.
Absolutely, brother. No better place to be than here in the broadcast booth and watching you guys duke it out here on the racetrack. Man, great show, great race. We can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Sunday night. Hopefully we'll see you right back out there, maybe a couple spots better, and up into victory lane yourself.
Yes, sir. I'll try to be here when I can.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You do. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Justin Brown. Brown comes home in position number 3. Great run, great drive there for that 21 ride. An amazing performance by all these drivers. Huge shout out to each and every one of them coming out, putting on a show, putting on exciting races for us, right from our first heat race to our consi to this feature event. Man, some absolutely amazing battles out there. A lot of back and forth and a lot of great racing here throughout the evening, and we can't wait to see these guys back in action. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening with the Speedway Alliance Racing League. We'll see them back in action next Sunday. I'll be back up here in the booth in probably about 20 minutes or so for our next series and our next race here on Peacemaker Gaming. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button for us. Hit the like button on the stream, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family, and we can't wait to see you guys back in here in just a little bit for our second broadcast of the night as the late models in action. I do believe they are headed to, I don't want to get this one wrong, I believe they're headed to Eldora, but I could be wrong on that note. I believe it is Eldora. It is Eldora. So we're headed to Eldora for 60 laps here later on this afternoon for our late model series with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. So we can't wait to see you guys in there. Can't wait to see those guys duke it out, man. And we hopefully we'll see you guys in the grandstands cheering them on. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And we'll catch you all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Night Rush, White Lines, Head Crush, let's go! Let's go! survive.